Some economists argue that earlier assurances from government about the economy were not from an informed position. They cite government's reliance on an IMF bailout to rescue the ailing Ghanaian economy as indications of hiding the real state of the economy. This, they believe, is the reason for the clamor on the Finance Minister Ofori Atta to be sacked.
A finance minister that has embarrassed the president several times is still at post. And your record too is not good. And I think that he qualifies as the worst finance minister we've ever had in the Fourth Republic. No two ways about that. And so he does not have the right to lead this particular negotiation. He does not. He does not qualify in any way.
Do the honorable thing. Save your brother the embarrassment. Just resign. Just resign. We all know you are good. But this area, for what we are going through now, for the things you said, it's just proper to resign.
Former President John Dramani Mahama has on several occasions also called for the head of the finance minister.
Those directly responsible for the economic crisis must bear responsibility, and it is inconceivable that the Minister of Finance remains at post. Having presided over the worst economic meltdown in Ghana's recent history, the President must, as a matter of urgency and without further delay, relieve the Minister of Finance of his position. It is now beyond debate that we currently find ourselves in an almost hopeless situation, which we will remain in until very drastic and far-reaching steps are taken to get out of this mess. This is devastating news for any economy, let alone one plagued with the deep-seated problems that we have. He should fire his finance minister. He should conduct a major shake-up of his government.
The Minister for Information, Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, however, has a totally different opinion.
The minister and his team are putting their details together. They will come back to the task force the president chairs, and the president is responsible for economic policy. I think sometimes we think that the finance minister is responsible for the economy. The finance minister actually is responsible for fiscal policy. The Bank of Ghana is responsible for monetary policy. Real sector development, broader economic policy sits with the president. He has an economic management team under him that will be doing the day-to-day management. The president is in full control of the end-of-day engagements that we'll have with the fund.
Wading into the conversation is the senior vice president and policy analyst at Imani Ghana, Kofi Bentel, who has advised government to entirely review the work of the finance ministry.
Somebody made a statement the other time that there are deputy ministers who are more powerful than the vice president. I don't think that's true. But why are they making those statements? I think it's time for us to take a good look at the finance ministry setup. There are so many deputy ministers there, okay? And I think the president should take a look at that because that team clearly has failed. And so, to the extent that the finance minister has to bear ultimate responsibility, that call is not misplaced. But I think the president should take a big look and redo the finance ministry and set things right.
Prior to the passage of the e-levy, top government officials, including Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the finance minister, Mr. Ofori Atta, had indicated strongly that the government would never return to the International Monetary Fund (IMF) for any financial assistance, regardless of the country's economic conditions, in pressing on Ghanaians to support the controversial e-levy.